If there was ever a right time to speak, Joe Boland says it was now. At a national conference bringing together leaders in police oversight, Boland told his story.
It was a concentrated effort by several to push me out the door because I was holding people accountable and that I wanted to open up the RNC and include the community into everything that we were doing.
Joe Boland left his position as chief of the RNC in 2021 after his relationship with the government broke down.
After that election was finished in March, that they were getting rid of me. I was going out the door. And it started before that, but it was not responding to emails, not filling vacancies. I could not get vacancies filled. In effect, I could not run the RNC.
And pressure from a union fighting for police officers that Boland says shouldn't have had a badge.
More than anything, I wanted them to act in good faith. I wanted them to make sure that what they were doing, they believed was the right thing to do, and it came from a good place. But I was also very clear that if you chose to abuse your position as a police officer, if you chose to prey on vulnerable people, if you chose to create a toxic environment within the organization, that I would also do all that I could to make sure that you didn't stay in the RNC, that I got rid of you.
Boland says he's been advocating for years to different governments for an independent police oversight board, one that is open and transparent. Each time, he says, he was met with resistance.
It becomes very, very difficult when you deal with either politicians or senior bureaucrats that have their own agendas. And I think one of the biggest agendas is keeping the public in the dark. The people of the province are the ones who should set the direction for the police services that police are.
And his fellow panelists agreed. Lynn Moore represents women who say they were sexually assaulted by RNC officers who picked them up in downtown St. John's. She has worked for the RNC before and has also helped people through the police complaints process, one that largely unfolds behind closed doors.
Police officers have a great deal of authority, responsibility, and power. And with that power comes a necessary accounting to the public. Secret trials should not exist in a democracy.
For Justin Campbell, the lack of movement on independent police oversight is baffling, considering his group First Voice delivered a report to government almost a year ago with calls to improve police accountability with a civilian-led police oversight board.
We have a provincial government right now that likes to talk about truth and reconciliation, but that doesn't respond to reports that are developed by Indigenous peoples to address exactly what that would look like.
But the person who could put that action in motion wasn't there at all. Justice Minister John Hogan was noticeably absent throughout the week-long conference.
But how dare they skip this? With what's going on in our province, how dare they just ignore this work that you're doing and not participate? I mean, I don't see anyone from the RNC. I don't see anyone from the province. How dare they?
Justice Minister John Hogan declined an interview, but in a statement said that there were representatives from his department at the conference. He says significant work is needed to determine what type of police oversight model is needed for the province. Ariana Kellen, CBC News, St. John's.